What's up, DIY Nation? It's your boy Darren, DIY 1978 guy, still rocking the apparel. All right, I need to get some more of these made. Why is it the minute I start a video, I start itching? Today's video, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Number one, we're gonna film indoors in the house, which is nice because it's still cold and rainy outside. Again, my absolute
least favorite weather.
I can't stand cold and rainy. I'll take cold weather if it snows, but I'll take warm weather over cold weather any day, unless it's 110 degrees outside. But that's not why I started this video. We are filming inside today, which is good. We're gonna do something a little bit different. Instead of working on like a mechanical project, we're actually gonna do something with electronics. Years ago, I used to fix a lot of iPhones for people, things like that, and those became pretty run-of-the-mill. So I have a bit of experience doing them. Now, today's subject is not an iPhone, unfortunately, because those are super simple to fix. Today's subject is a Galaxy A9 Plus tablet that has been extremely well taken care of, as you can see. Not only is the screen destroyed on this thing, believe it or not, it still works though. Not only is the screen destroyed, but the case is also bent. So we're gonna have a little bit of a challenge ahead of us to try to, one, get the screen off of this thing, which it being cracked makes it a little easier. I'm not worried about breaking the screen. As a matter of fact, it's gonna come off in 1,000 pieces anyway. But the bigger thing is going to be trying to straighten out this case so that I can put the new screen back on it. I've never done one of these before. I have done the iPads before, and they're very similar in the way they work. Actually, I think this one might be a little bit simpler, but this is going to be a learning experience for me as well. So this will either be a big success or an epic failure. So I do have a new screen that I ordered from Amazon. I guess I could probably go ahead and cut this thing open. See if I can cut my fingers open while I'm at it. But I do have a new screen that came in from Amazon. It wasn't really bad, actually, the price. It was only like 50 bucks or something like this. Let's see what they have in the box here. So of course, like everything, they come with tools, you know, to take these things apart. You know, most high quality screwdriver set you ever had. I don't know why it gives you a bunch of rubber bands though. Not really sure what that's all about, but I got all my own tools here that I've already used. Let's see. Oh, they give me a stylus. Not really, it's a picking tool for picking up the pieces of the screen, and then there's a flathead side. This is for going around, and then of course a tweezer in case I find a stray eyebrow hair or nose hair that I need to pluck out. So again, I already have all this stuff. I've got my little spread right here of tools that I've used over the years to do this. And here we have the actual screen. So let's take a look at this thing and see what we got. Now, I'm not just replacing the glass on this one. I actually ordered the entire LCD digitizer combo, because not only is the glass cracked on this, but the LCD is also moderately broken. So it's always easier just to replace the entire thing. Replace the digitizer and the LCD all together. Oh, they came with look at that, came with screen protector and everything. Seems to be pretty customary these days. So this is the new screen. Now, of course, it's got a plastic film over right now. There's the new screen. And of course, it has the digitizer all built into it with the single ribbon cable that plugs into the motherboard. So the one downside to these things is that they're adhesive. Okay, unlike the iPhones, there's actually some screws you can take out and you can lift up the whole screen and digitizer. It actually has a metal frame underneath it. These and the iPads are actually the glass is adhered to the frame. And what that means is that we get to use a lot of heat to try to pry this thing up and then get all the old adhesive off of there. So that's what we're gonna do here. I will show you how this is done, and but I probably won't film the entire time of me getting the screen off of here just because it's a boring thing to watch. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this thing. So first things first, we'll put some gloves on because, well, I'm gonna end up with glass everywhere. That's why I have the towel down here on the counter, is to collect all the glass and everything that falls off of this thing, because it will end up in a bunch of pieces. Hopefully less than more, but if prior experience serves me well, there will be a lot of glass everywhere. Now this is a Wagner heat gun. It's got two heat settings. It's got the, hey, I'll just singe your nose hairs a little bit, or it's also got the bowels of hell setting as well. So it does get pretty hot. I've used this thing for a lot of different things. So we're gonna start off on high, and essentially we're just gonna go around the frame and start warming this thing up. And already pieces of glass are blowing off of this thing. You want to be careful when you have this thing on high not to sit in any one area too long, because it will start melting stuff. I can already smell this rubber pad starting to become odoriferous, if you will. So just going to keep going around the rim. And we're gonna warm this thing up. You gotta warm this thing up a pretty good bit. Believe it or not, these can take quite a bit of heat before they would actually fail. Which is funny too, because at least the iPhones, man, if that thing even gets a little bit of a fever, it's like, oh, sorry, it's too hot. I must shut off. Please cool me down. I can't charge. I can't turn on. I can't connect you to your TikTok and YouTubes and everything else. That's about what, that's what I feel like the phone sounds like when it's doing that. So, excuse me. There we go, going around the rim, starting to get warm here. And we're basically just going to start in one place and try to work our way around the edges. We'll try to maintain as much of the center glass as possible, and we'll work around the edges and try to get it off, because the edges is the only thing that holds us down. So, all right, yeah, we're starting to get hot now. Maybe if I just heat it up enough, it'll just shoot off on its own. All right. So now comes the fun part, which is trying to get something underneath this glass. Let's see how soft this adhesive has gotten. I'm just going to start in the area where the glass is already broken and just work around the frame here. Just get this under and lift or break. This is it's hot, but it's not hot enough. So now that we've got it moderately warm, what I'm actually going to do is really get one section hot, and then we'll break the adhesive free there, and then we'll work to the next section. Now, it helps that I can see a piece of adhesive here, so I can kind of get an idea of when it's softening up. Be careful when you put the heat gun down. You don't want to burn anything. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Let's see here. I got these little dealy bobs you can use to work under the glass to help pry it up. Unfortunately, it's not really working for me because the glass is just breaking. So we might just end up going that route and just break it off. But if you were going to actually do this and try to maintain the integrity of the screen you're taking off, lots of heat in here to, you know, soften up this adhesive that's in here. So it's not really softening up as much as I'd like it to. Once you get it lifted, you can usually get like an X-Acto blade under there and sort of cut around it. So yay, that is hot. Now be careful though too, the other thing is you don't want to get it so hot that you start melting the stuff on the inside of the tablet. So it's really a hunt and peck mission, so to speak, to free this up. There we go. Now I've been able to get under the glass here. You want to be careful when you get down around by the camera. I mean, all that's built into the new screen that I got, but if you're, like I said, if you're trying to maintain the integrity of the one you're taking off, you got to be careful as you go around cameras and things like that, and other pieces of hardware. So we are about a quarter of the way around this thing. I'm going to stuff one of these under here just to help keep it lifted up. And then we're going to work our way around this next long edge here. It heats up fast, but it also cools down pretty quick too. The other thing you need to be careful about when you do these, now I've seen the back of this screen, so I know where the ribbon is, but you still want to be careful as you're cutting along the bottom here, because you don't want to cut into anything that, you know, any other ribbons that might happen to be there on other devices. So be super careful. All right, let's heat this up. All right, so we're almost done with this thing. Whew, it's getting so hot it's smoking. I feel like the mask. Smoking! Alright. And dun 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 dun. We have managed to get this thing off more or less. Yeah, it's still hot. So we gotta undo this ribbon cable in here. I don't know if that screws down. Maybe it does. So this little ribbon just snaps right onto the board. And there you go. So let me bring you around over here. I'll show you what I'm doing. So here we got the ribbon from the old screen here. Of course, we managed to get that off without completely destroying it. Throw that off to the side. And then we've got, it snaps down to the board right here. There's this bracket that went like that on there with 2 screws. So we've got the battery, which I gotta undo. This is another, another doohickey right there that I've gotta take, well, I'll leave that one on, but I'm gonna disconnect the battery here real quick to power the device down. We'll snap that back. As a matter of fact, we'll probably glue the screen back on before we realize that we disconnected the battery, so then we'll have to go through the whole process of taking it off again. So anyway, that is what the inside of an A9 Plus looks like. And here is the adhesive stuff that I'm gonna have to get off of here. I'm not gonna film while I'm doing that. It's gonna take a few minutes, and then we're gonna have to try to straighten out this frame, which is gonna be fun. So down here in this corner. But anyway, let me get this adhesive off of here, and then I'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. So I'll be right back. All right. So I have gotten all of the glue off of the frame of this thing. So basically you just take the heat, you heat it up a decent amount, take your X-Acto blade and you just slowly scrape the glue off. I went ahead and threw it all away. But everything is clean now around this rim. We got all the adhesive off of it. It's always good to double and triple check it just to make sure. I may go over these areas a little bit more just to see, but I'm also going to get a little alcohol swab and clean this up as well. Some areas of interest you want to be careful, right? Right here, where this, again, I don't know what the heck that thing is. There's 3 little dots. I guess there's something for a case or an accessory you can put on. But this little guy, be careful when you're coming up and around that thing. As you're going along the rim, over here as well, there was adhesive down this whole square section that you have to get off, and you want to be careful not to nick that ribbon cable when when you're scraping the adhesive off. Right here where the camera is, the camera's built into the frame on this, not on the lens. So, or excuse me, not on the glass. So be careful when you come around the camera. And then same thing as you come down around the edge right here. So that's what that looks like. Now we're going to move on to trying to straighten this frame. So let me get everything set up on how I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, don't go anywhere. We're back. Now we've got this thing all set up. So basically, one saving grace is that this case is made out of aluminum, so it does actually bend fairly easily. Good Lord, this whole thing is beat up. But so I think we'll probably just be able to take the hammer and just kind of slightly, slowly tap it back in place. Hey, it's already coming back together. Look at that. I don't think the headphone jack is going to work again, but maybe we'll get lucky with that too. Who knows? So let's go ahead and light taps should do it. You don't really need to get too crazy with it. If you need something softer, you can take the blunt end of a screwdriver and use that as well to help kind of soften the blow up for it a little bit. Let's see. Hey, we're getting there. Let's see if we can knock this little sim tray piece back in place. Slow and steady wins the race on these things usually, so just be careful as you're doing this and you should win the day. I'm not real concerned with the back of it being dented up too much. Let's see here. Well, it kind of straightened out this edge too. Huh. May actually be close enough for us to put the screen back on there. Let's see if I can straighten this sim tray just a little bit more. Wonder if I can get the sim tray out of this thing. Like I said, I'm not that worried about the sim tray. I figured I'd try it and see, but I'm not that worried about the sim tray because this one doesn't have a cellular plan on it, nor is it getting a cellular plan, so I think we'll be okay there. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty straight. I think it's straight enough that we can stick a glass back down on it. Let's see. Look down the edge there. It's what we call straight-ish. Back's not beat up too bad. At least it's not beat up as bad as it originally was. So, interesting. Okay. Well, very cool. That seems to have worked okay. Let's get all these things out of the way. So now we're gonna move on to actually adhering the screen down, the new screen. We're gonna have to do a few things here first. We're gonna have to clean these edges with some alcohol wipes, make sure we got everything off of them. And then we've got these incredibly thick strips. These aren't that, they're actually, you know, these are individual little thin strips that I'm gonna have to put all the way around the edge here. That's actually gonna adhere the screen on. So, and then we'll get to the point where we actually stick the screen back on, lock the bracket down, make sure we plug the battery in. But we're also gonna test the screen too. And let's do that real quick. Let's go ahead and plug the battery back in. Get the new screen and we'll plug that in and test it and make sure it works. So, we can test fit the screen, make sure it wants to fit properly. Look at that. Nice. All right, let's test it and see if it works. Three weeks from now, when this thing's done booting up, we'll be able to actually test it and see. 3:55. That is not the correct time. That is the correct time. Hey, wake up. Okay. Look at that. So we have a winner chicken dinner. And pop this ribbon back off of here. Excellent. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all these edges. I'm gonna get this adhesive laid down and get the screen ready to go back on. And then I'll bring you back and we'll do that last part together. What do you say? All right, be right back. All right, so I figured I'll give you a little tutorial on what I'm doing. Now, these things that came with this suck, so we're not using those. Fortunately, I have a roll of glass adhesive that I got with another project at one point that works really, really well. So this is what I'm actually using. It's the same rubberized stuff that came on the back of the screen originally. So we put the heat gun on low, and we're just gonna heat up the edge because it helps adhere the adhesive to the frame. Now I've already been through it again, like I said, with the alcohol swab and the X-Acto blade. You don't have to get it too hot, nothing like what we needed to do in order to get the screen off. And then you just roll it out, start at the corner, and just lay it up in there. Get down to the end here. We're gonna trim it back just like that, and then we just didn't want to stick. And you just roll it down right into the groove there. You take your little pry tool, just run that right along there, make sure it's right up against the edge. And then, so this has the other plastic backing, which is the other side of the adhesive here. So that's going to adhere to the frame right there while we're going all the way around. Of course, we'll cut off pieces to put in the corners as well to adhere it down. On this thick edge right here, we'll actually do 2 strips because that's what they had over there. So we're gonna go around this area down here. Sorry, I keep burping. It's a calzone I had for dinner, which was really moderately okay. It was a leftover. So, but anyway, we're gonna come down this edge here. We'll come down this edge here. We'll fill in the corners and so on and so forth. Okay, so we've got all the adhesive strips down in the corners, along the edges, skipping over the camera, of course, and all the way down around. We've heated them up again, all the way down around, And we're going to go ahead and pull all of those off so that we can snap down the screen. But first we're going to have to also put the ribbon back on. Get the garbage out of the way here. We got to put this ribbon back on. We got to put the little bracket back on as well. So let me make sure I have my screwdriver handy. There it is. Got my 2 screws in there. Okay, so we're going to start peeling up all of this stuff here. This stuff works so much better than the ones that come with these things. And these we will get a little hotter so that when we stick the screen down, it wants to stay. We want these to actually adhere to the screen as well. The screen's actually got some plastic pieces around the border right now that are supposed to keep all the dust off of it. So you don't have to take an alcohol swab and clean that. It's already been cleaned, and you shouldn't have to swab it to clean the surface before you put the screen on. And then we are going to attempt to, let's take these, no, don't need that falling. Let's take these plastic strips off. These are the plastic strips I was just telling you about. I'm going to set this just inside here, just so I can, well, lock this down on the board and roll that back like that. Our plugs are on. I think this was like this. Yeah. Okay. Magnetic screw number 1. Can't have shaky hands when you do this, and I have shaky hands most of the time. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the heat gun. We're going to heat all of these adhesives up again. I'm going to start with this edge. Start down at the bottom, sneak this in. Just work my way around the edge here. Make sure that's all the way in. You don't want to push too hard, obviously. You don't want to break the screen. So what we'll do now is we can take this off. This is that paper that, like, you can crumple it all up and then it goes whoop and it goes right back out to normal. Okay. Take the pad, go all the way around. Like so. And I'm also going to heat this up again to help the glass adhere to the adhesive. Jesus, my watch is going nuts. When I'm not filming, ain't nobody want to talk. Lightly press all the way around. Like so. And we should be good. Now, let's take a look. Is it seated? It's seated there. Should we straighten that out a little bit? There we go. Charging port. There's the beat up edge of it. You can see how nice the glass set down on that. And then all the way around. I have to say I'm even kind of impressed myself, so let's turn it on and see how we do. Boom. Look at that. Let's see here. Tablet is starting. This is a little girl's tablet. Kind of little, 10 years old. Well, well, well. Looky there. What's in the news? Still booting. Trump may have dodged his criminal cases. Okay. Plane circles MetLife Stadium with a message to fix the Giants' dumpster fire. That's hilarious. The weight loss drug boom has become one of the internet's biggest scams. I can believe that. Okay, well, it looks like we have a tablet that is working again. Yes! That one was actually easier than iPads. iPads generally have 2 or 3 ribbons on them. They're not always in the same area, so when you're lifting the screen up off of them, it's like one you can kind of get to, the other one you can't. It's a big pain in the butt. But not all of them. Now, maybe the newer ones are. It's been several years since I've done an iPad. But anyway, that is, in a nutshell, how you change the glass, the digitizer and glass on a tablet. For this one, like I said, particularly a Samsung A9 Plus 11-inch tablet. You got to go slow, be methodical, double check your work. You can't rush through these kind of things. If you rush, you will break them. Again, it was a little easier because I didn't have to worry about breaking the glass, taking it off. If you're gonna take it off and not, if you're gonna try to remove the screen and reuse the screen, you gotta be extremely careful. You gotta get the right amount of heat in there, just enough lift under the screen to lift it up and slowly work your way around to break that adhesive free. So, but this one went back together pretty good. I'm impressed. So there you go. Another DIY project in a different realm than we've done before. Electronics. We're gonna try and keep spreading it out across different things. I have a number of different ideas of videos I need to do. I've got people lining up, asking me to do things for them. So more videos will be coming out as I get time to do them. Now comes the fun part of actually editing all of this stuff. So got two I gotta edit. But anyway, another DIY project. So I hope you guys found this enjoyable. I really appreciate all the support. Please click subscribe down below. Please leave some comments if you've ever done this, things that maybe you know to do that are easier, stuff like that. I mean, I try to answer the comments as much as I can when I get time to do it. So, but I very much appreciate you all out there, and you guys are helping me make a small little bucket list dream come true by doing these things. So anyway, this is DIY 1978 guys saying peace.